Hello, and thank you for listening to Your Credit Matters. I'm your host, Rondi Lambeth, bringing to you each and every day right here on K-Praise, 6:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. You know, I've been talking about what the banks, the credit bureaus, the collection companies, the mainstream media, what they don't want you, the American people, what they don't want you to know about the real estate market, about your finances, and most importantly, your credit score, and how important that three-digit number is to you. On the show today, we've been talking about how banks or furnishers, the technical term, are not required to report anything on your credit report. It is a choice, just like bad credit for you is a choice. It is a choice for the furnishers to report. They don't have to. Sometimes they report to 1, sometimes they report to 2, sometimes they report to 3, and sometimes they report to none because they have to pay to report. It's not free, and they have to pay monthly. So there's no law that forces them to report. So that's how we're able to get a lot of these items removed from the credit report, is because if you threaten to sue them for the reporting of it wrong, because the law does require them to report it accurately. And if they don't, you have a right to sue them. In fact, there's over 200 laws that protect you from banks, credit bureaus, and collection companies. Now, earlier I was started to go over a credit report for Jack, and so I want to do that. So I'm looking at Jack's credit report. He's a listener of the show, and he sent it in to me. If you send me your credit report, I'll audit it as well. But we're going to audit Jack's credit report right now. His credit score on Experian is a 633. TransUnion's a 630. Equifax is a 624. Now, that's not good credit. It could be a lot worse, could be a lot better, but it's kind of in that limbo. Now, that report was May 10th, and then he hired us in July. And in December, I pulled his credit, and now he's 689, 649, and 647. So he's gone up. It's gone up quite a bit. But let's go over the original credit report. And I want to explain what those numbers actually mean. So what is your credit score? What is your true FICO credit score? Not what you see online, not the Vantage score, the Trans Risk score. Those are all fake. Those aren't real. Those are scores developed by the credit bureaus in an attempt to confuse the American people in an attempt to not have to pay FICO. FICO is a Fair Isaac company. They're the ones that create the actual credit score. So what does that score actually mean? What is your FICO credit score? If you don't know and you want to know what it is, you can go to myfico.com. You can order a credit report from them. Or you can go to my website, badcreditisachoice.com, badcreditisachoice.com, and sign up for a credit report audit. I'll access your credit, I'll audit it, and I'll tell you exactly what you can do to increase your credit score. Most of our clients increase their credit score from 50 to 250 points. But back to Jack. He's got a 633, a 630, and a 624. What does that mean? It is the likelihood that you will pay your bills over the next 2 years. So FICO takes all of this data and spits out a number through their very, very complicated algorithm. And this algorithm will tell the bank or the potential furnisher the likelihood of you defaulting or the likelihood of you paying your bills. So let's make it very, very simple. This is just a rule of thumb. But a 633 credit score represents a 63.3 chance that he'll pay his bills. On TransUnion, he had a 630, so that represents a 63.0%. And on Equifax, he's a 624, so that represents a 62.4. See, all you got to do is put a point in between the second and third number, put a percentage sign behind it, and that's your percentage or likelihood of you paying your bills. Now, it's not that simple, but that's an easy way to remember and realize what it means. So if you had a 580, that would be a 58% chance versus a 780 at 78%. So if you're a bank and two people come to you and both people make the exact same amount of money, both people work at the same job, both people are the same age, everything's exactly the same. The only difference is Adam has a 580 credit score where Joe has a 780. So if you were going to loan your hard-earned money, and on one person you had a 58% chance of getting your money, the other you have a 78% chance, who would you loan the money to? Who would you trust to pay you back? See, there is no 1,000 credit score or 100% because nothing's 100%, with the exception to one thing, and that's dying, because taxes aren't even 100%. We know that. There's lots of people that don't pay their taxes. The only thing in life that's 100% guaranteed is death. At some point, we will die, and that's it. So there's no 100% credit score, 1,000-point credit score. It's 850. 850 is the most. 300 is the lowest. 300 to 850, trademarked by FICO. They're the ones that come up with it. To be honest, I've never, out of thousands and thousands of credit reports I've reviewed, I've never seen anything below a 400. They just don't really exist. 400, it just drops off. You either have a 0 credit score or a 400. I've only seen a handful above 800, unless it's in fact, it's less than 1% of the American people have an 800 or higher credit score. So the real numbers are 400 to 800. Okay, 400 to 800. So yesterday on the show, I talked about the spread. The real spread is 400 points. That's it, 400 points. That's all we're working with here. So when you see these ads that say, I can increase your credit score 400 points, or a bankruptcy impacts your credit score 400 points, or a short sale, do a short sale versus a foreclosure and save your credit, it'll save you 400 points. It's all garbage. Nothing affects your credit score 400 points. Nothing. The most a late payment can affect your credit score on average is 150 points, regardless of what it is. If you want to do the math, 35%, that is what payment history is, 35% of your credit score, 35% times 40 times 400. So 35% times 400 is what payment history will impact your credit score. The rest is inquiries, balances, and such. So we're going to scroll down. We're going to scroll down to Jack's credit report. On TransUnion, he was a 630. The number one code is code 38, serious delinquency, public record, or collection filed. So let me back up. Public record or collection filed. That's the number one reason code. There's 40 reason codes. That's the number one thing impacting Jack's